And the time is 5:30 p.m. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Rudy, roll call, please.
Chairman Danford,
Here.
Vice Chair Ham,
Present.
Commissioner Alonza,
Here.
Commissioner Klett, and Commissioner Buys.
Here.
We have 4 members present. We have a quorum, Mr. Chairman.
Cool, thank you. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move that we approve the consent agenda. I second.
Rudy, roll call?
Commissioner Buys,
Yes.
Chairman Danford,
Yes.
Vice Chair Ham,
Yes.
Commissioner Alonza.
Yes.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Does the commission have any artwork to discuss?
Don't we need to approve the minutes from the last meeting before we go into announcement of artwork?
That's part of the consent agenda.
That's part of the consent agenda.
I'll just say, wonderful unveiling of the sculptures at the dog park. That was fantastic. Thank you so much for putting that on and having us.
You left just before they took a group picture of all of us. So you don't officially exist.
Photoshop can do wonderful things.
Yeah, I would have broke the camera anyways.
Well, looks like we have no artwork to discuss. There's no public hearing this evening. We, excuse me, we now have old business. The first item is discussion with staff and Dianne Cripe.
Mr. Chairman, unfortunately, Diane had to go to the hospital today. She will not be able to join us today. We were hoping she could share some information insofar as estimates for some of these types of art pieces. You know, what does your typical large banner cost? How much does a typical artist commission cost for these types of things? How much does your typical art pedestal cost? We did meet with her back in a few weeks ago anyway. Back in August. She gave us some very preliminary figures. She was referring to the large vinyl banner at Valley Metro. She was under the impression that large banner was in the neighborhood of $10,000 with about a $1,500 to $2,000 artist commission. It depends on the materials. Is it a wrap? Is it a banner? Is it something else? And then she also briefly discussed what a pedestal might run. Typically a large pedestal, 4 to 5 feet high. She was estimating probably anywhere between $2,000 and $5,000 just for the concrete work itself. So hopefully next time she's here, we'll be able to get some more specific numbers for you. But those are the types of things that we had hoped she would discuss with us today as we discuss some of these possible art projects
So
Mm-hmm.
in our near
we'll be
future.
moving her to next month's agenda then.
Yeah.
Second item under old business is the available public art funds. Erica?
Well, I thought we'd actually take a look at some pictures from Dutchman Dog Park. This is for the installation on 720. And you can see Trevor and his partner installing the mom and pup here, and also for the bulldog. And these were taken today, and you can see that the pads were stained. They look really good, and there's a new fire hydrant by the bulldog.
That's an awesome touch.
And it's not real, but
Isn't that great?
Perfect.
it's great. I love it so much.
How did it get there?
I think it was Liz and her team. I think they installed it.
Well, I know there was some discussion at the unveiling of where's the fire hydrant? 'Cause, with the dog doing what it's doing,
I thought they were going to do plants, but I think this is way better than doing
fantastic.
plants.
well, I think she told me they were talking about putting a tree there. But I like the fire hydrant better.
Yeah.
This is a humor.
So this is the plaque that will be on the mom and pup sculpture, but it has not been installed yet. I don't know when that will be installed. We're also waiting on 2 caution plaques for, in case it's really hot. We need some warning for people. And now we can talk about the art fund. So it is actually fairly substantial. We can see that the current monthly, up to date, is actually $314,176.14. Now, there is a balance that has not yet been transferred of $28,079.22, and a remaining balance for Trevor for his sculptures of $32,000, but the total available will be $310,255.36.
You think you might stay now?
Some big numbers.
Yeah, it is. That's exciting. Cool, thank you. New business, we now have new business, which is discussion about possible art walk at the library, Parks and Rec, and Police Department. Erica?
So we took these pictures today. This is for the library. Now, the library is no longer interested in doing the permanent mural inside the library, but they are interested in doing banners out in the front. We see here, you can see my cursor right here, and you will see on the letter or the page that Rudy gave you earlier, you'll see some measurements there that we took. These are approximate measurements. So I know you, last time we met, you guys were interested in dimensions.
Right.
So this is actually on the rear of the building, and you can see through these windows, that's part of the library right there. So they were interested in maybe art along the side where they can see it inside the building, and also on this side of the building here. I'm sorry, the wall.
Yeah, along the colonnade, essentially.
Exactly, yeah. So there's varying dimensions for these, but those are also included in the page that's in front of you.
It's very interesting. It's almost kind of like a Doppler wall, or, you know. So the wall that is closest to us is probably the widest wall at about 15 feet. And then when we say 12 feet high, we're basically talking to the top of the inside of the column.
Yeah.
These are approximate measurements, once again, but the 15-foot wall, and then they go small to larger till you get to the very north end, which is the right side of the picture, and that last panel is about 12 by 12. So it's very interesting as far as, you know, every panel would have to be different size and, you know, a different art piece.
I hadn't thought about that before, but I like the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's
me
great
too.
too.
That looks
So
kinda cool.
we can, there are choices for banners, but also vinyl wraps, and particularly here would be great for the vinyl wraps.
Now, would that be just on this side of it, or would there be something on the other side of it too?
She was interested in having it on both sides, so that you can see one side from inside the building, and you see the windows in the rear here. That's the library in there, and you can see out through those windows. So
And then
if you-
from the other side, you can see it from the little playground at the multi-gen center.
Exactly.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
That'd be cool.
No, I hope nobody has seizures. Also, I believe, if I remember correctly, Rudy, was she interested in having pedestal art out here too?
Yes, we also discussed with Pam the possibility of pedestal art, you know, maybe out front or maybe in the rear. So she was also expressed interest in that, as well as Liz.
So Liz and,
Yes, yes,
they were both interested in that?
yes.
Cool. What about the multi-gen center?
For multi-gen, we actually have quite a few options that she was interested in. So vinyl banners, vinyl wraps here, and possibly in here. Now, there's going to be an expansion of this area. So that could be something we could look at in the future when that's completed.
Yeah, we weren't able to get into that area because right now it's under construction and it's fenced off. So unfortunately, we weren't able to take any measurements in that area there.
Also here for the vinyl wraps on the windows, it'd be semi-transparent, so you could see through the windows, but also we could see the art from the outside.
So the square windows are basically 44, they're square, 44 by 44 inches. There's 4 of them that you see here in this picture on the northerly side of the entrance to the multi-gen. And then on the southerly side of the entrance to the multi-gen, there's another three 44-inch by 44-inch windows. And then these larger windows that you see off on the right side of the image here, those collectively were about 15 feet wide, about 8 feet tall, but they are 12 window panels each. So you can kind of see 6 of them here on the left side, if you can show with your
I can
cursor,
actually
Eric.
kind of see all the breaks
Yeah.
Yeah.
behind the plants.
So 6 on the left side that are kind of maybe a couple of feet wide each, and then there's 3 big windows in the middle, and then there's one more set of windows on the right side of the large window, and then directly south of that, there is another window that is the same size, except that it's a mirror image of the first window. So in other words, the smaller window panes are on the left side of that window, I'm sorry, on the
The
right
far
side of that
side.
window as opposed to being on the left side. So.
The small panels are all on the outside, the big panels
Yes.
all in the middle,
Yes.
the medium in the
Right,
mid.
right.
Middle.
So, so some interesting possibilities there.
And what about the police department?
Oh, before we move to the police department, I wanted to mention another possible artwork that Liz was interested in is pedestal art here, right in the front of the building. This would be for the peninsula. You see right here, this is the left side here, and then the right side here. So I believe this section here is actually for drainage, but we could work around that.
So they're definitely interested in
Yeah,
Yeah.
public art at that building.
definitely.
Absolutely.
Would they be interested in a combination of different arts or just one?
Yes.
No, combinations.
Oh,
In other words,
yeah, yeah.
whatever we can give them.
Yeah, whatever you can give them.
Parks and Rec and public art usually go together.
Yeah, no joke.
Yeah.
And the library is one of the most traveled buildings in the entire city, so,
Absolutely. Yep.
you know, especially for all us old people that go there once a week. That's cool. Police department,
Yep, for PD, if you see the left image here, this is where they do interviews for media, and they would like either a permanent mural here, or maybe a banner or a vinyl wrap, so that they can do interviews in front of it. They are also interested in pedestal art here. They're looking to replace this planter. So the pedestal art also acts as a barrier, so nobody drives into the police station.
Yeah, security barrier.
yeah,
Aesthetic and security purposes.
yeah.
So Dianne, I spoke to her today. She was a little concerned about it being temporary artwork for this particular pedestal art, only because, you know, there's a risk of damage to it.
Yeah.
So maybe a permanent pedestal art here.
Well, now, this thing we're looking at, is that a permanent thing?
The
The
planter?
bowl, the planter, is that permanent?
planter, they are looking to remove it, so.
They want it, they do
Yeah,
want to remove it?
they want to remove it, yeah.
Okay,
Also keep in mind that there is a camera here on the left, so maybe not too tall of a pedestal art. They did not give us a specific height they were looking for.
did they give any subject matters that they would like to see? Because I know being on the police department, you're gonna be careful what you're gonna put on the walls.
Right, yeah.
Probably obviously either police themed, safety themed.
Safety themed,
Yes.
likely, yeah. All right, and that's all we have for, so I would like to mention that we did contact Public Works and have not gotten a good answer on the light banners, or the pole banners. So we'll be reaching out to them again, and hopefully we can get a more substantial answer.
Okay,
There are certain times of the year where those poles are used, like around the holidays and Domestic Violence Week and a couple of other things.
events.
One of their main issues is maintenance and also the extra manpower to take stuff up and take stuff down. But I'm sure we can work around those issues, but those are the kinds of things that we're still trying to work at this.
I imagine right now they have a budget to cover the ones that they do
Right,
every year.
right.
So we'd be asking them to add to their budget then,
Yeah, that's correct.
yeah.
Yeah, and some of those poles, they're missing some of the arms and stuff, so there would be some replacement issues as well.
and we have not received a response from fire.
Okay. Commission, do you have any art-related news to discuss?
Unfortunately, not at this time.
With all your traveling around the world, you haven't seen any art that you'd like to talk about?
I did take some photos, but I didn't study up right before the meeting. There were some great, in Belize, there were some great big concrete block letters they used to like advertise, basically like where the big focal points on the, I went to Key Cocker, like on the island. So they had this thing called the split, which is where they trudge through for boats to come around the island. The big giant concrete block letters that were all painted. Each letter was painted like a real Caribbean color, with like, and then like lizards and sea turtles and stuff all over them. So it's kind of neat, you know, just thinking about scale. You know, it doesn't have to be real complicated, but just seeing something that's that enormous, you know, a 6-foot tall letter, just kind of draws the eye, gives you a good sense of perspective, makes a landmark.
Okay, Director's Report. Rudy, do you have anything to report?
Just one item, Mr. Chairman. On Monday, Joel, is it on Monday that our city council is going to, wants to discuss the idea of wrapping the pedestal boxes?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, one of our council members was out and about Chandler or Tempe or somewhere, and they saw that, oh, this is a neat idea. Of course, we have brought that idea to the board already. That please correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that was one of your priority.
It was not a priority, but we have discussed it.
Right, right. So, of course, you're welcome to attend the meeting on Monday. Joel will tell you, just don't sit together and see what they say. We're not exactly sure. I think what we're going to do is maybe take some of the images of the presentation, Diane's presentation in April, where she had also the sidewalk art and all that stuff. Well, we're not going to give them unnecessary information, but we're going to show them a couple of examples of the wraps that Diane presented in her presentation, as well as these are the items that the commission was interested in, such as the banners and the pedestals and things like that. So we, council, we have had this discussion. Happy to hear your ideas on, wrapping utility boxes.
Will the council be considering is this kind of a introductory conversation, or are they considering like a theme or something like that?
It's just an introductory conversation, right?
'Cause
It's a work session, yeah.
I know down Litchfield Road over in Goodyear, they have a lot of aviation themed art because they have the old airport out there, or not old airport, it's still a functioning airport, but so that was kind of a driver for a lot of the public art down that road, including some of the pedestal wraps and things like that, if I recall. So I'm sure they'll have some good input on kind of themes that they like.
Yeah.
And
they'd
I,
like to see.
and I know in Mesa at the Riverview Shopping Center, in front of where they have the Subway, the Yogis, and some of those eateries, there's a painted utility box in the parking lot there.
Okay.
Now, these are utility boxes, right?
Yes.
They're scattered all over the city, or do they have particular
They
ones in mind?
typically happen at the intersections, wherever you have a stoplight. That's where they seem to be located. At least that's what I've noticed in Chandler and Tempe. I live in Chandler, and they're all over Chandler. And the ones in Chandler tend to be very deserty themed. The ones in Tempe tend to be a little more, different type of art, more not abstract, but just different types of art, other than just desert.
More that
art.
speaks to a college town.
Oh,
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. So there's all kinds of themes out there.
And this is going to be done at the work session Monday?
Yes, sir.
Cool. Commission, do we have any items we'd like to discuss at a future meeting, besides having Diane here, of course? Don't everybody talk at once.
Sounds like there's going to be a a couple, in addition to the, all the opportunities at the library, multi-gen police department, box wraps, seems like it's gonna be a pretty full agenda for the fall.
Looks like we're gonna have a lot of choice, lot of decisions to make, a lot of choices to make. That's cool though, and we got some money to spend.
Yes,
All
absolutely.
right.
If you want, we can even put an agenda item on to initiate a call for artists for whichever project you would like for us to pursue, whether it be the banners or the wraps or the pedestals, or maybe we do a couple.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
My only thought would be, would you wanna hear from Dianne first?
Maybe get some estimates from her.
Well, we could, but we could also, if we decide that we wanna go with something, I would leave that as a tentative. Can we leave it as a tentative agenda item?
Sure.
I also think maybe since we do have a larger budget, maybe we should also discuss one of our next larger pieces that we were thinking of, whether the roundabout or Silly Mountain.
Okay.
That'll work.
Okay.
Rudy, you put that on the agenda?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Okay, looks like we've pretty well run the gamut here. Do we have a motion to select the next meeting date?
I make a motion that we hold our next regular meeting at 5:30 PM on Monday, October 9th, 2023, in the City Council Chambers located at 300 East Superstition Boulevard, Apache Junction.
I second.
Rudy, roll call?
Commissioner Buys,
Yes.
Chairman Danford,
Yes.
Vice Chair Ham,
Yes.
Commissioner Alonso.
Yes.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
I now adjourn the meeting at 5:43?